Hello, my name is Mohamed Jallow, and for my final project for databases, I created a Discord bot using Node.js and Discord.js, which is connected to an SQL database created using SQLite 3. And what this bot does is it gives users links to certain games and their social media websites or their main page, depending on what the user asks the bot for. So to create this bot, I went to the Discord developer portal and click new application, which will prompt you to name your application and then take you to a page that looks like this. Then I just went to the bot tab, created a bot with just the default settings here, make sure this is checked, make sure this is unchecked. Then I went to the OAuth 2 tab to get a link to invite it to my server. I went to URL generator, gave it the bot scope, gave it all the permissions that you would like to give it, and then it gives you a link down here that you can put into your browser and then choose which server you want to invite the bot to. And then after doing all that, you want to copy your token, which I will tell you how I used it later. So going into my database, I just created a simple SQLite 3 database with two tables. First table is games, which stores all the game names and links to their main site, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Reddit. And then another table called alt names, which just stores the name of the game with a reference to this column in games, and any other name that the game might be preferred to or shortened as. For example, League of Legends might be shortened to LOL. And this just allows the user to not have to be as specific with how they put the name into the command. And so to demonstrate the bot, first command that I implemented is %help, which just tells you exactly what notation to put your commands in. So for example, you can do %game name to get all the links for a certain game, or %game name space name of social media to get the link for only that social media. Or you can do %games just to see the list of all the games available for you to get links for. So if I do %games, it takes a while, but it will send a message for each and every single one of the games stored in the database. And then when it's done, for example, I can do %Fortnite, and it will give me all the links stored in the database under Fortnite. Or I can do, for example, Fortnite Twitter, and it will give me only the link to the Twitter for Fortnite. If I put in a game that is not there, let's say Borderlands, it will tell you that the game is not in the database. Or for example, if I do, %Fortnite, let's say LinkedIn, it will say it's an invalid command because that is not one of the social media stored in the database. And so to implement this, I did all my programming in Visual Studio Code, and I installed all my packages using the Node package manager. And all the dependencies are stored in these package.json files. And all you have to do once you get a hold of the code is just npm install. Once you do all that, all you have to do to run the code is just node dot, and the bot starts. So in my code, the first thing I do is initialize the Discord client and then store my token in a variable. This is the token that I copied over from right here in the Discord developer portal. And it's basically used to log the bot in here at the end of the code. And this is what allows it to be online in Discord. Then I imported the SQLite 3 module, and I made sure that on ready, it opens up the database. And if the database doesn't exist, it creates one. And then on each message, first thing it does is check if the user sending a message is a bot, and if it is, then it just returns because I don't want the bot to respond to other bot input and create some kind of loop on accident. Then it opens up the database for reading and writing, and if the message starts with the percentage, which I use for the commands, the first thing it checks for is how many white spaces are in the command, so that just lets it know whether or not it's just a one-word command or a multiple-word command. If it's a multiple word command, then it's a command for a specific site for a game. So for example, there's cases for website, Twitter, Facebook, etc., etc. And then it queries the database for that specific site, for that specific game in the games table. And right here you can see I use db.get to get that information. This if statement right here is for error handling. If there's an error, just log it to the console so I can see what's going on down here. If the game name that the user put in is undefined, the first thing I want to do is check to see if it's an alternate name. So for example, League of Legends is the name that I put in games, but somebody might put in LOL instead, which should still be valid. So I want to check the alt names table for that. And then I just do db.get with this query right here. So it selects main site with a join statement between alt names and games on game name, wherever the alt name is what the user put in. And then I do some error handling here. If that's undefined, then just tell the user that they put in an invalid command. Otherwise, just store the information from the query and send it to the user. And if the user puts in the game name properly in the first place, then just store the information and send it to the user. If the user puts in a command that is only one word, it could be one of three things. The first thing is the help command that I showed earlier that just tells you how to use the bot, how to ask it to do what you want it to do. The other case is the games command, which just lists all the games that the user is available to see information for. And I do all the error and event handling the same as before. And then by default, the bot just assumes that the user is trying to put in a game name when they just do percentage something. So it selects that game, selects every attribute for that game in the games table. And if the user puts in a game name and it's not in the games table, check the alt names table for that with the join statement. And if it's not in the alt names table, tell the user that the game is not in the database. Otherwise, store all the information from the query and send it to the user. And if the user put in the game properly in the first place, store all the information from the query and send it to the user. And so that's how my Discord bot works. Thank you for watching.